Welcome to Seattle and Washington State. Built for the 1962 World's Fair, the 520-foot tall Space Needle is the quintessential symbol of Seattle. The brainchild of a Microsoft co-founder, the Experience Museum project is a hands-on museum to rock and roll.
Who cares what games we choose? Little to win, but nothing to lose. If the sense of compliments, meaningless nouns, turn on to
Its neighbor, the Science Fiction Museum, is an homage to all aspects of sci-fi.
tutor by the cockeyed world in two. Throw your pride to one side is the least you can do. Beatniks and politics, nothing is new.
Also built for the 1962 World's Fair, Seattle's monorail was thought to represent the future of mass transit. Pike Place Market was founded in 1907 when housewives complained that middlemen were raising the prices of their produce. Today the market is bustling with farmers, fishmongers, and craftspeople.
Trailer now, sail on river. All them rules left, they'll do themselves. No fun, no food, no pets. Ain't got no cigarettes. 2 hours now, pushing river. 8 miles and 8 by 12. I'm a man of means by no means. King of
At Pier 55, there are excursion boats offering 1-hour harbor tours.
We did it the other way, and that's why we have an underground. They raced to put up the buildings. They were afraid without them, the businesses would go bankrupt or move 25 miles south. You know who that is. So they said, look, we've been walking in water for 30 years. Let's take 5 years to put up a new town. We don't want to interrupt commerce. You remember the book title is Sons of the Prophets. So the city engineer said, here's what we'll do. We'll move the dirt later by elevating the streets. Does that sound like true Seattle spirit right there? We're going to put up the buildings first. We're going to rebuild our downtown in 5 years. Then we're going to elevate the street levels. There. And then the streets were raised slowly. Now the city was broke, so once they had the street elevated, they didn't cover the area right away. Picture this now. It was open to the sky. The city said, we're going to cover it. It shouldn't take longer than 2 years. In the meantime, the streets and sidewalks were on different levels. I don't know, do you see any problems there? Oh, 40, third grader. Yeah, it's very educational. I do this for grade school, it's fun. I've learned a lot from third grade. Do you know why gorillas have big nostrils? They have big fingers. I missed that day at third grade. Jokes are getting worse. Let's move on. Before they started moving all the dirt, look at that big hill. And you can imagine what it was like taking a horse and wagon up that muddy, slippery slope. That's why they also wanted to regrade. We just crossed from there to there. The streets are filled here. And would you guess it's before or after the fire? What do you notice here? It's all made of lumber. Yeah, it's before. When I do the tour for third grade, I tell them the fire started around the corner under that UFO in Blue South. Third grader told me it's not a UFO, it's an erupting crapper. If you're interested in this, read Bill's books. He was a newspaper reporter, good at digging up the dirt. He wrote in his book that 90% of the budget came from Vice. I'm talking about Vice taxes. We tax gambling, alcohol, professional ladies listed on the tax roll as seamstress. That was a code word. We were the sewing capital of the Pacific Northwest. A little later when we finish in that room where you're looking at a lot of photos, there's one this big. It shows 5 ladies all dressed up, sitting in a parlor, about 1900. It is not a ladies' charitable organization. The woman on the left, Madam Lou Graham, was #1 seamstress for 20 years, and Bill said she was the most powerful woman in town.
No, I didn't.
There's a little game with third grade. We wait for people to walk over, then we shout help. It's tempting, isn't it? I'll say 1, 2, 3. Let's shout. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Very good. And they seem concerned, don't they? They usually don't hear us. It's a great way to kill 12 minutes with 9-year-olds. This old skylight is purple on top, so you can date the old ones. Many, many people in Seattle think they are just decoration. So, you know, I've stood here many times. Somebody from Seattle will say I've walked over it 100 times. Didn't really occur to me that it was a functioning skylight. I don't even know if they're aware there's an underground. I always wonder what they would think if they knew 30 people were looking up at them as they go by. We can usually see their shoes. That's about all. Don't get your hopes up. Every now and then I walk by and I can see camera lights flashing below. It's very rare that you hear anybody shouting.
Washington State Ferries operates the most extensive ferry system in the United States. Near Seattle, Boeing offers tours of the single largest building by volume in the world, the company's Everett Assembly Plant, coupled with a flight museum.
I see the mountain, and that is all I see. Some build temples and some find altars. Some come in tall hats and robes spun fine. Some in rags, some in gemstone halters. Some push the pegs back in line. I see the mountain come to me. I see the mountain, and that is all I see.
The deep wilderness and rugged peaks of the North Cascade Range are only a few hours' drive from Seattle.
When you gotta crawl, lose your grip, trip and fall. When you can't lean on no one else, that's when you find yourself. I've been around and I've noticed that walking's easy when the road is flat. Then Dango Hills will get you every time. Yeah, the good Lord gave us mountains so we can learn how to climb. This world ain't fair, it can knock you on your butt. You can just lie there, or you can get back up. You gotta get back up.
The complex encompasses landscapes with over 9,000 feet of vertical relief.
There are times in life when you gotta crawl, lose your grip, trip and fall. When you can't lean on no one else, that's when you find yourself. I've been around and I've noticed that walking's easy when the road is flat. Then Dango Hills will get you every time. Yeah, the good Lord gave us mountains so we can learn how to
Driving into Winthrop, you might think you've stumbled onto a movie set. Back in 1972, someone suggested that the town cash in on its Wild West heritage and put up some old-fashioned Cowtown false fronts. The Grand Coulee Dam, located on the Columbia River in central Washington, is the largest concrete structure in the United States. It produces up to 6.5 million kilowatts of power and irrigates over 500,000 acres of farmland. Leavenworth is Washington's Bavarian village. Folks in lederhosen dance in the streets, a polka band plays the oompa, and all the buildings look like alpine chalets. The town of Roslyn was just an old coal mining town until television turned it into Sicily, Alaska for the TV show Northern Exposure.